that you're actually aging so gracefully. You look better today.
You know
than
what
you did
that
a few
pick
years
looks
ago.
like? That pick there reminds me of, and God rest his soul, the Val Kilmer monster pick. Remember when like someone posted the pic saying this was actually Batman or like what? And he was a monster. That's what that's what the Alf from Melmac pic looks like.
You're right. It actually is strikingly similar because the Val Kilmer one.
Look at that one. That is someone's like that guy used to play for the Leafs.
That guy scored 40 in the NHL.
And Hayes, we talked about this. Like the curl and drag up top on my salad is so. When you're a monster, you can't have a curl and drag up top.
You know what is a veteran move for a bigger guy is the T-shirt under the jacket. It's such an elite play.
Let me clarify this for anyone that sees this in the future. You don't have a damn dress shirt that fits your neck, so you go. There's the only reason someone ever does that.
Exactly.
It's not style. It's not anything. They don't have a damn shirt that fits.
No, you can't tailor one, right? Because the arms are too long if the neck is too big.
Yeah, because, dude, when I lost weight, I put that Leafs alumni jacket on, and I had that thing tailored when I was at my peak sour key mode. That thing was like a tarp. I could not believe it.
Yeah, hey, listen, we hit 50.
That picture is still one of my favorites of all time. I snuck one in. Nobody paid attention.
I loved your post. I loved your post.
I put 4 pictures. There's one that's not you.
I know. And nobody ever said anything. I'm like, it's like some kind of group leader or something.
Yeah.
But he kind of looks like you.
I know. People would have just breezed by that, and they're like, that's ugly, old dog. Nothing to see here.
So good. It's so good. Well, hey, listen, we made it to 50, and I don't know. What did you get for your 50th birthday?
You know what? I'll tell you what I got. I got the most ignorant message from a friend of mine. This guy's like a brother. Like when I was in North Carolina, we were best friends. And he sent me a text this morning, and he said, Dogger, he calls me Dogger. Dogger, happy 50th. Too bad you live in a loser country. Enjoy your stuffed animal. And I almost passed out.
Yeah.
The enjoy your stuffed animal, and that's the kind of humor we have between each other. The enjoy your stuffed animal, like it was gutting.
Did both teams get those stupid stuffed animals?
So
imagine giving a grown-ass man a stuffed animal after he just had his heart ripped out of his chest.
Disgusting.
And why not do it? This is what bothered me about it. I mean, there's a lot that bothered. Obviously, we're going to talk about it extensively. But why not hand it with the medal? This was a guy literally handing out afterwards, giving the right arm hook to everybody. He wasn't shaking the hand. It was the right handshake. And the look on McKinnon's face, actually, I died laughing. Like I needed a good laugh after being sad. And he just looked at this and was like, what the F is this?
Yeah.
Like he shook his head too. Like they just handed me, it looked like a bunny, but apparently everybody got them. And I didn't want it to be, because I think it's something to do with the Olympics. I didn't want it to be disrespectful, but you got a stuffed animal after getting your heart ripped out. Like, man, oh, man, that was tough.
Crushing, because you're right. Like, there was someone assigned that job.
The stuffed animal
You're
job.
a stuffed animal guy, and you've got to go down the line of, all these Canadians who left it all on the ice and know what happened. They know they've lost. It maybe hadn't sunk in yet. I think it had for McKinnon. I'm not sure about McDavid. Like, McDavid just sat there like a statue, man. Like, and some of them did. And it's shocking. Like it is shocking. You lose in overtime in a game like that where you've been waiting to play it your whole life.
Yeah.
You've been waiting for that, because the Olympics, it's unique. It's different. It's a one game for gold. You're on foreign territory. You're in Italy. You're playing over there in the afternoon. Like,
dude,
it's just
for
everything's
50
foreign.
minutes, they had the game of their life. Like
they played so well. They played so well, and unfortunately, Hellebuyck had the game of his life. He was so phenomenal, and in the end, Jack Hughes got it done. And we're going to break it all down. We got Chris Pronger coming up. Ray Ferraro's coming up today. We've all got different opinions on everything. But in the end, the Americans won. And that's what needs to be stated. Not that we don't know that, but the Americans won.
And in my own kind of, weird analysis. Everybody kind of thinks about it differently.
Yeah.
And I just have like this thing where it's like, if a good team's playing a bad team, if Colorado goes in, I just call it solid play differential. It's my own little stat, okay? Colorado goes into Vancouver, they're going to make 10 to 12 more solid plays, whether it be big hits, power play goal, excellent pass to spring a guy, you know what I mean, a big save. They're going to do that probably 10 to 12 more times, maybe a little bit less, and the score is going to end up resulting to be 5-1. So not too often do you end up losing a game where your solid play differential, you're on the positive side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had breakaways. They had the McKinnon open net. It was like Taze was wide open front in Hellebuyck. It's like the solid play differential almost I don't even know if that even makes sense, but that's
Jamie. Totally.
It's wonderful.
That's exactly what it was.
It's actually, instead of, you know what, that's your analytics. That's your eye test, the analytics of it, because the expected goals were 6-2 for Canada. That's what the expected goals were, 6-2. And it makes, and I thought Binnington made some great saves. Like, I'm not laying anything at his feet, but that was a stolen game by Connor Hellebuyck, who was brilliant, but also got some favorable bounces too. Keep in mind, I did SportsCenter today. I called that save. It might be one of the greatest saves in the history of the game, based on, again, recency bias.
No, I don't think it is recency bias. I think you're right, Noodles.
But listen, hear me out on it. It wasn't a stylistic, hey, it was a desperation reach back. He gets a chunk of it and it goes out the other side. But you look at 18 and a half minutes left in the third period at 1-1. If Canada scores there, I don't think they look back, because I think the USA would have to open the game up, and that's when Canada could kind of catch them cheating or something like that. That save was the TSN turning point of you name it for me. Because, yes, McKinnon open net hits the outside. It's still 1-1. But I think Canada, that wide open, and it was a beautiful pass by Marner. It was a great play.
Brilliant. It was a brilliant pass.
It was a great play. That save, I look back at it, I think it's one of the biggest or best saves for the timing of it that I can think of in recent history.
Do you guys know how big of a pick, like you talk about a basement or a trophy room? Yeah. I would have that pick like from the roof view. There's
the overview.
I would have the biggest picture of that or painting in my basement that ever could possibly be drawn. Like, that's history-changing stuff. Like, Jack Hughes is gone from a little skill guy in New Jersey. He's like a national hero in the States right now. Like, like that one pick where he's got the flag draped over him and he's got the teeth out, and it looks like, I don't know. It's a legend. Like, he just went legend, and that's it, man.
Exactly what it was. Like we were talking about last week, signature moments.
Yes.
Hellebuyck has his now, and maybe he will top it. I doubt it, but maybe he will. Maybe he's in Game 7 of a Cup final, because really that's the equivalent. You're not doing it in Game 3 of a Cup final, right? Like, you got to be like a do-or-die, biggest game, all eyes on you. And the thing about the Olympics is, like, the world is watching. More people are watching. Like, the American numbers are way bigger than a Stanley Cup final. Way bigger. It's not even close. So it's by the magnitude of 10 or 20 or 30.
Biggest stage.
There is Hellebuyck's signature moment of his career, and that is Jack Hughes' signature moment of his career. And you're right. Like, Hughes, I was talking to Craig about this last night. Craig Button and I were doing Jay, and we were just kind of shooting the you-know-what back and forth. I was at home. He was in the studio. And we were talking about, we got into 2010, and what I remember from 2010 is Canada won and Crosby scored. He referenced a big stop on Pavelski by Luongo. I couldn't remember it. Like, I didn't remember it. And people talk about the Parise goal late. Sure, I can remember that to an extent. I don't remember it like specifically. The point I'm making is 15, 20, 30 years from now, we're not going to remember details of Celebrini's breakaway, McDavid's breakaway, Hellebuyck was okay, the high stick by Bennett. You're going to remember the Americans won and Jack Hughes scored. That's what will be remembered. And that's why, like, Hughes doing that is so massive for his profile. Like, he will be everywhere. He'll be in commercials. He'll be on billboards. He'll be on morning shows. He'll be on ESPN, Fox. He'll be everywhere. And if he's got a good PR staff, he can probably roll this into like a lifelong thing. There's American hero Jack Hughes.
Mike Arugione's
Yes,
done it.
exactly.
Now, Arugioне wasn't an NHL player and all of that. Like Hughes is still, he's 24.
Right, he's going to keep growing. And the miracle on the ice is totally different. You know, I think it's totally different. Like this was a coin flip game. Like these are all NHL players, future Hall of Famers. That was amateurs versus the Russians and the world and geopolitics and all. That was a totally different dynamic. But that's what Hughes accomplished. That's what the Americans accomplished. And ultimately, you know, for the Canadians, they had so many opportunities for them to be that guy. You know, whether
Celebrini breakaway, Taze,
McKinnon. They had so many opportunities to be that guy, and it didn't happen for them.
And the other one too, again, to have a game like Hellebuyck had yesterday, you do need positive luck. Like I say, 98 out of 100 times Taze buries that in the net, right? You know, but Hellebuyck makes a desperation save. The puck got by Hellebuyck one time, and McAvoy was standing on the goal line and took it in the chest and dropped down.
Right, you're right. Great play by him, but you're right.
Guys, that's what I'm talking about with that stupid...
Yeah, no, it's not stupid. I actually like the terminology. Say it again.
Because it's just solid play differential. And with these two teams, 4 nations, it's +1. Connor McDavid made the play. Mitch Marner made the play to Connor McDavid. Olympics, Sidney Crosby Iggy made the play to Sidney. It's +1. That's how close these teams are.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about one play is going to be the difference. Wow. And Jack Hughes, the one play in overtime. But I think we can all agree. I'll say it again. In that game, they were probably -5 or 6 as far as the positive plays.
And you know what it also makes you realize, like, as you bring it back to club teams or on the international stage, but there's a lot more examples in the NHL every year. And certainly over the course of 4 years, a 4-year gap, you can look at countless examples where you'd say, man, if I got a Hellebuyck performance, we're through. If I got a Hellebuyck performance, we win. And that's the nature of that position. And we've talked about it so many times, like with the Leafs for years, where it's like if you just get to a Game 7, sometimes you got to ask for it. And guess what? You're allowed to. And what I just pointed out, it's not a good formula. Like what you're pointing out, is 99 times out of 100 or 95 out of 100, you might lose, but you're allowed to expect it sometimes. You're allowed to do it. And once you've done it, you don't have to make excuses for it.
Right.
Like the Americans are not hiding their gold medals and saying, just go talk to Hellebuyck. That's not happening.
No, they're winners. They describe
winners.
themselves as winners.
They're
but
all
the one
winners.
thing I didn't get after the game is the Hughes boys. I don't know why they have to come out and be like, everybody in Toronto can talk about Matthews as a winner right now. I just didn't understand that. I didn't understand, and I'll go back to some of my comments early in the tournament. Like some people, Americans didn't deserve. Yeah, their goaltender played a game that got them the victory. His performance alone was deserving of a gold medal, and they did it. They won it. People are like, this sucks. People were bringing up 3-on-3. Nobody complained about 3-on-3 when Mitch Marner scored. It was great then. It was like, look at this play by Mitch Marner. I don't know. I just found some of the commentary after, even from some reputable people in the media, was just ridiculous. Anybody that thinks this is a fair – there's nothing fair in sports.
It sucks. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, Brian, I'm sure you've brought it up. We've joked about it on this show. Love 3-on-3, joke, hate 3-on-3, all of that. Would I have loved to see 5-on-5? Yes, of course, because I think that's the separator. 3-on-3, you see the history of it. I mean, these games in that tournament were finishing in the first 3 minutes of 3-on-3. It's just chances with the elite players, and away you go.
Well, way the game. I didn't love Cooper's response to, because he was making excuses afterwards. He said you take 4 players off the ice. Now hockey's not hockey anymore. There's a reason OT and shootouts are in play, and he was talking
Hockey wasn't hockey when Marner scored.
Well, exactly, and that's it, and no one complained. And when Sid scored in 2010, it was 4-on-4. It wasn't 5-on-5 either. Not one person has placed an asterisk on that. The Olympics are different, and I said it on Jay last night. It's every 4 years. You're also allowed 13 forwards and 7 defensemen. You don't have that in the NHL. What's next? We need best 4 out of 7. You're going to stay in Italy for the whole month? This is the way it works. It's a different ice size. They play at 2 in the afternoon. You never play Game 7 of a Cup final at 2 in the afternoon, right? That's just the way it goes. It's different. It's unique. Everyone signed up for it. This is the way it goes. And the way 3-on-3 works in the NHL and this, I would actually argue in a way it's the closest thing to NHL hockey because, like, the 5-on-5, the pace is so much faster than the NHL. So much faster. And every player is engaged, and every player is elite, and every player is a superstar and smart and physical and knows everything and is ready and is detailed. 3-on-3 in the Olympics is just like 3-on-3 back home, where what it is effectively like playing heads-up poker where the blinds are out of control and you just got to keep going all in. That's what it is. Yeah. I got King 7, all in. I got 9-10 suited. I guess I'm going all in. And that's what Canada did. Like, McDavid tried it. I'm going all in. I'll try to go take
so did
Jack
Makar,
Hughes'
and he couldn't get back in time.
Makar said, I'm going all in. Like, that's what he did. He gambled, and he got hurt, and he lost. And that's what happened. They went all in. But, again, my point leading up to this tournament on why I thought Canada would win was because I thought their 3 best players in particular would be the separator. It's a lot. The analogy I'd use, different sport, obviously, is the Buffalo Bills and the Broncos a few weeks ago. I thought the Bills would put Josh Allen in a position to win it. I said, put the ball in his hands, end of the fourth quarter or in overtime. I believe he'll get the job done.
Against the backup, dude.
Yes, but he unfortunately didn't. Doesn't mean he's not great. Doesn't mean we have to have the whole clutch conversation. Doesn't mean he doesn't have 10 or 12 years left in his career to find a way to win, and I do believe he'll win in the future. But if you had asked me over the last 12 years or just over the last 12 months since the Four Nations, I'm going to put you in overtime. McDavid, McKinnon, Makar on the ice. Will you take it for gold? I'd say yes. I say I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
No, you
those
would
are the
also
3 best
say
players.
there's no chance that the 3 best skaters in the world are getting beat by anybody.
Right.
That's
exactly.
That's what was out there.
And that's what happened.
3 best skating players in the world were on the ice at the same time, and they lost.
And anything can happen. Like you say, it's an aggressive play. But I looked at that play, and if we were going to break it down, like, there's 4 mistakes on that play. There's not just one. You know, there's 4, at least 3 or 4. I mean, McDavid tries a 1-on-3, and Hellebuyck pokes it away. Smart play as Hellebuyck. But, you know, McDavid tries to wait as McKinnon pokes down. As Makar jumps in. He catches a rut. Great play by Jack Hughes to pop it by.
Yes,
or else it's a 2-on-0 the other way. Zach Werenski.
Great play.
Bullying McKinnon off that puck. McKinnon hesitates to go at it because he realizes it's a 2-on-1, and he hesitates, and then Werenski pushes McKinnon, who's an absolute horse, off that puck, and McDavid is a little late on that seam play, and then Jordan Binnington, aggressive, steps out, but that goes 5-hole.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's mistakes everywhere. But you go down, and John Cooper did it right. He had his 3 best players, the 3 best players arguably on the planet, out there. It's just unfortunate that it came back the wrong way. Jack Hughes is an unbelievable player. Austin Matthews is right there.
Well,
Werenski, you know, like, good on them.
And you got to wait 4 years. That's what stings. Like, maybe there's World Cups, and if there's World Cups that launch, maybe that feels more like the NHL, and they play 5-on-5 in overtime, and it's different. But you got to wait 4 years. Yeah. And, you know, in terms of the Americans and Matthews, like, it's going to be interesting. I'm not convinced he plays on Wednesday or Thursday.
Dude, what are you talking about?
I'm not sure he plays. Like, you tell me. You were with Matt Sundin in 06. Did he miss games?
No, he didn't. He told Fergie to stuff it, but he got back in time for the game.
I think Matthews plays. I think he has to know how important these games are. I know they're going to the State of the Union.
They're going to be there tomorrow, by all accounts.
But they got private birds. I mean, you get on a bird down there. You get down there for Wednesday's game into Tampa, which is maybe I'm wrong, Brian.
Listen, they're going to see the president tomorrow.
Yes, they're going to the State of the Union tomorrow.
But that's Tuesday. That's Tuesday. That thing's over by 3 in the afternoon. You take a private bird, you're in South Florida.
I hope you're
by
right.
8 p.m.
This is I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked. I don't have inside information. I know Lindy Ruff, I believe, spoke today and said he's not sure Tage Thompson. He might have been joking. He's like, I don't know when we're going to see Tage Thompson.
Well, like, I mean, those guys were. Listen,
they're going out tonight in Miami. Then they're going up to D.C. You know, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if there are guys that miss games. Like, and it wouldn't be unprecedented. There are guys that have missed games.
To me, you went to the Olympics. You did their thing. I don't know what you got in store. You better be back playing on time. It's non-negotiable. Just like Mats, he went and did his party in Sweden. He got his ass back in time for the game. I think he might have landed the morning of the game or maybe even the afternoon, but he got there for the game.
Okay.
So it's like, do your thing, but you better get your ass back because this is actually your job, and you can't just say, I got a meeting with somebody, I'm going to miss game. Like, that's insane.
Well, it's not a meeting with someone. I mean, it's obviously something more significant than
it's
that.
It's a 2-day hangover, too. Tonight, like I say, these guys are going to be out late tonight and have a great time. I always worry. Remember, the guilty is the next day. The 2-day legs, 2 days after a night out is usually tough. But, I mean, these guys
throw
are
in some jet lag.
And that's my point. Exactly. Okay, let's say he plays. It's back-to-back. Like, you always knew this was coming. It's not like this was always
coming. No, it didn't
coming.
creep up on anybody.
No, of course. And again, I'm not speaking for him. I hope he plays. You know, I think he should feel a sense of obligation to play. Obviously, it's his job. He's the captain. They're 6 points out. Like, this is not like Tampa, where if Hagel doesn't play, they're probably like, we're still making the playoffs. You know, if McKinnon doesn't play in Colorado, I think they'll be okay. You know, Quinn Hughes misses a game for Minnesota. The Leafs are in a very different situation. But, you know, they're in Miami tonight. They're going to go to the State of the Union. I think they're all going to go. You know, they're all going to be there. I'm sure he's going to do media like crazy. He's going to do a bunch of stuff down in the States. I'm sure his PR team, like we just talked about with Jack Hughes, is saying, we got to pounce on this. Like, Austin Matthews is the captain of the first team to win gold since 1980. Like that, this is a massive moment in his life and in his career. And to his credit, he's been worthy of a moment like this his whole career. He's a great player. It doesn't change his Leaf history. To get back to the Hughes comments about the media should be talking about him as a winner, of course, he won. Of course he's a winner. He deserves all the accolades in the world. He had a really good tournament. Really good tournament. He's the captain of the team that won gold. That will always be his, always on his resume. Doesn't change his Leaf history. The goalposts don't change with the club team.
No, we talked about something else last week. Two things can be true. You could have had you could have had a solid tournament and you could have led the team. I don't think he was like the leader of the team on the ice particularly, but he wore the C. He had a good tournament. His team won the gold. They basically did that by committee. Hellebuyck, Eichel, Werenski, Hughes. They had just a bunch of different guys. It wasn't like a couple guys like Canada was structured where they kind of took control of the tournament and won games for them. That was by committee, a real damn good committee, a gold-winning committee. Yep. And he was a part of it. Deserves all the accolades he can get.
Absolutely.
And maybe he can take some of that experience or the confidence and spin it into something here. That's what you hope, that he can. You take these experiences. That's part of being a player and what he's gone through the last couple of weeks, and maybe that translates into being infectious around this group. But the bottom line is, I had a buddy just reach out to me who knows you as well and said, Jeff would have taken a week off in Italy. He might have gone missing if he won the gold in your prime.
Imagine
which I
just
probably
never came back.
We all
How
know
amazing would that be?
the prime Jeff O'Neill wins gold medal. He might be. Might be in Lake Como with George Clooney on a boat. Who knows?
That could have happened, but I would have left the boat just in time to get back for the game. I would have understood the games on Wednesday. You got to get back for the game.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround, but the whole league's got to do it, man. And the players wanted to go, and the players got to go, and the Americans will never forget it. Unfortunately, the Canadians will never forget it either. Right? Like this is one of those games. Like there's so few, there's like 8 or 10 of them in your life. You know, all time where you say that game, I'll never forget that game. I'll never forget that game. Canada's been on the right side so many times. They're on the wrong one now. They got to wait 4 years for retribution. Chris Pronger coming up. He was on the right side multiple times, but also on the wrong side multiple times. Right? He was there in '98. He knows what it's like to run into a hot goalie.
You know what? Just remind me. '98 ended up in a shootout. No,
shootout. Yes, shootout.
There was no shootout that was coming last night.
They
changed the rules.
No, there was 20
After
minutes,
20
3-on-3, then a shootout. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the rules last night.
Yeah.
So Prong's coming up, Ray coming up, something to chew on. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. OverDrive continues up on the TSN app and YouTube Live.
The NBA lives here on TSN and TSN Plus. On Crave. Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
My old friend, who I used to speak to on a regular basis, who I will boycott Thursday's games because he has a new best friend, little Jimmy, just sent me a note that says the State of the Union is at 8 o'clock at night on the Tuesday. So I thought it would be like a mid-morning type thing. State of the Union is at night, 8 o'clock. A few people pointed that out to BX's best friend.
Yeah.
BX.
Well, you're right. So that's tomorrow night in D.C. Now, that doesn't mean they can't get on a private plane, get out of there, get down to Tampa by 1 in the morning, go to sleep, and play the next day.
They're getting there. They will be fine. It's not
I think you're right. I hope you're right. I think he should play. You know, I understand it's a whirlwind for him right now. It's a whirlwind for all of them. They won. They're on a heater. They're on a party right now. They're not even in the NHL world still. They're still in Olympic mode, which I totally get, and I would be too. But yeah, actually, Duffy's doing the rounds because I misspoke. There was never going to be a shootout yesterday.
Yeah, I was
You're
reading
right,
that.
Noodles.
I read it last night, and because I was, as usual, you're trying to bone up on like the rules because I was like in '98, it felt like it was a short overtime and then right into a shootout type of thing, and then last night was 3-on-3. And then no shootout.
Yeah.
Play until it's got done type of thing, which is...
I guess in the end it didn't matter because it did end well before that. But
yeah, exactly.
Man, people are jumping on me. Like, actually, let me send you the rules here.
The fact checkers are everywhere.
Fact checkers. I'm getting literally snapshots. IHF rule 4.2b.
I saw the one. Actually, Hazy B, you're wrong with that one.
My
I
bad.
had to look it up.
Apologies.
I looked it up last night.
Okay.
And because I was more disappointed that I was like, I feel like this is going to be a shootout because I remember the Hasek one where I think Al McInnes came back to afterwards and he said, I wish I would have just blasted a shot off Hasek's head because that
me
might
too, I guess, in
backed him off
retrospect.
a little bit.
Well, here's a guy that I guess one of the few people in the world that have been on both sides of it, right? Like he's now not in a gold medal game necessarily. There he is, Chris Pronger joining us. And Prongs, you won gold in 02, won gold in 2010, but you're there in 98. Now, that was in the semis against the Czech Republic.
Correct. Correct.
Do you kind of know what Canada's the players are going through today or what?
Yeah, they are crushed. Devastated. You know, you got to realize that Czech game we lost in the semifinals. These guys lost in the gold medal game. They got to the dance and they played so well and lost. And I can't believe you didn't know that rule, Hazy. I'm disgusted.
I know you should be. You should be. I think your burner account just sent me a tweet. There's a lot of people on me, man. I'm getting pounds for that.
And sorry, Hazy. Hold on. O-Dog, happy 50th.
Yes.
Hey, Prongs, thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're the only one that had some class and wishing me a happy birthday.
I sent out a very nice tweet first thing this morning.
You did. There's a lot of people that are like, you look 65, you're this, you're that. It's
Hay sent out a picture that O-Dog looks like Alf from Melmac. You got to look at the picture.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
He's my guy, 50 years old, aging beautifully, gracefully. So Prongs, you know,
got
now
great
obviously
hair.
there you go, exactly. Still looks phenomenal. What do you think from a Canadian perspective? We know on the American side we're going to remember Jack Hughes scored. I think we'll remember Hellebuyck played great. If we move 10 years into the future and someone's going to ask you in 2036, hey, what do you remember about that gold medal game from Canada's perspective? What do you think we're going to remember?
Don't let teams linger. Don't let teams stick around. You got to get your foot on their throat and end it. You know, a lot of talent on the other side. You know, all it takes is one. You let a team hang around like that, and we see it all the time in the National Hockey League too. A team's playing great, but they're letting the other team kind of stick around, hang around long enough, and ultimately it's going to bite you. You know, your goaltender's not as active as maybe the other goalie. They're not feeling it, and all of a sudden they get you have a quick breakdown, and the next thing you know, it's in the back of your net, and you're like, what just happened? And so, you know, I think for them, you know, as I was saying earlier, you're heartbroken, you're crushed, you can't believe what just happened after the game that they played. But it also was, it's on them. They weren't able to score enough goals. They lost. Like it is what it is. So they have to live with that for 4 more years. 2 until the World Cup. And even if they win that, the Americans, they're going to be like, oh, but we got the gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they're going to be lording that over them. So, yeah, absolutely. And so, I think for these next 4 years, every single year when there's some type of Canadian event, they have to make it a point to absolutely rub the Americans' nose in it. That has to be the mindset and the mentality that you have to get back your swagger. You have to get back how we used to go into these tournaments and want to crush that team and just take the life from them. And I haven't seen that in a while.
So, Chris, is there any takeaway, like we don't need a State of the Union in Canada type of thing as far as, hockey type of thing, or is it more just a reset? Like, what would you were talking about some of your biggest takeaways here. Is it as simple as, hey, we need to kind of knuckle down and go back at it, or is there adjustments that need to be made maybe right from the top or whatever from an attitude standpoint to kind of get back in it?
I think it's more attitude, but I don't know one person, anybody who has a clue about hockey that watched that game and said, wow, the Americans looked really good. Not one person is going to say that. Outside of their goaltender, who was all-world. Outside of that, there's no way anybody's going to say that. But at the end of the day, it's about scoring goals and wins and losses, and they lost. So do you throw the baby out with the bathwater? No, but you have to look at the landscape of, in this case, professional hockey, but hockey in general, and be like, every other country is catching up. We can't sit back and just rest on our laurels and think we're just going to be able to skate through it all, and there's going to be no adversity. There's not going to be, no other issues coming our way. We have a lot of good young players coming in the pipeline, but it's this and it's this right here that in my opinion, we need to strengthen, and that needs to be the core of our team, the foundation of our team moving forward, because it used to always be that.
How much of that was depleted because Crosby didn't play?
Yeah, I think a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's playing on the third line. Like, he's adding more depth, and yeah, he might have scored. Like, we can go back. They had guys that didn't play too. Like, no,
I understand, but I guess what I'm asking,
this guy was hurt, that guy was hurt. From a leadership perspective, I think a little bit, but he was still around. He just wasn't on the bench and on the ice. What would he have made a difference? He might have. But I mean, if you're Canada, you can't be walking around going, "Yeah, but Crosby didn't play."
Right.
That's a loser's mentality.
Not when you
accept what happened and go fix it.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
that's what I'm asking is, like, is it, the swag and the mentality and the attitude, is it something that's got to equally permeate through everyone, or is it really got to be the main guy or main guys that do it? And if so, we know who we're talking about here. The elephant in the room is it's McDavid, McKinnon, and really McDavid, I guess, at the forefront. Like, he's the guy, how do they find that in 4 years?
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think he put too much pressure on himself? Do you think they put too much pressure on themselves, thinking that they're going over there for business, they're going over there to win gold, they're going to stay in a hotel versus go hang out in the village, they're going to do everything like solely for this one thing, and when they don't get it, what happens? When they face adversity, they didn't play great against Czechia, they won. They played pretty well against Finland, albeit Finland sat back for 40 plus minutes. It just, to me, it felt like there was already a ton of pressure on them with the NHL, same thing as 98 with the NHL players going to the Olympics. There was already an inordinate amount of pressure added to this environment. And then you're just adding more fuel to the fire by, saying that you don't have to say all those things. It's we know we know you want to win gold. We all want to win gold. Like it just, to me, it seemed like a little much.
So Chris, you make a great point, but how has that changed? Like, we know you look at the fiber of some of these players. I mean, McDavid's all business. McKinnon, they interviewed him. He's like, I don't care about having fun. I'm here for business. Like, a lot of these guys are just wired that way. I mean, you see other guys and they're drinking whiskey and laughing it up and that. Like, is it the way you select your team? You need certain individuals that maybe lighten the room? Do you need different types of things, the way you build your team? I read something about the way that Team USA built their team, and it was a tongue-in-cheek comment. They wanted a bunch of whiskey drinkers in there, guys that enjoy themselves and enjoy being around each other. Like, is that what it comes back to with the attitude and kind of the swagger type of thing? Like, how would you change that if you're talking about the top players putting so much pressure on themselves?
Well, I think it goes back to, and you just hit it. What identity are you trying to create with this team? Are we no longer that Rock'em Sock'em Team Canada? Are we going to be this run and gun team? Is that the new identity for Canadian hockey? Or are we going to be able to face adversity head on and run over our opponents at times if we need to? That becomes the question for me, because there are so many countries catching up, and U.S. is certainly the biggest. You could argue that they're now parallel with us with the skill and talent that they are producing. So it's interesting, because we're not having this conversation if they score a goal at 3-on-3, or they score one of those empty net goals. We're not even talking about this. We're talking about how great they played. So,
right.
As quickly as you want to pounce on them and say, "Oh my God, they're terrible," they weren't. I thought they played fantastic. They made a couple mistakes, and those mistakes were in the back of their net.
Prongs, you were an automatic guy. You played in your All-Star game, Olympics, and it was well-deserved, but you were on the team. How different, excuse me, other than McDavid, McKinnon, Makar, how different you think this team will look in 4 years? Or is it, like you see with young guys, it's so difficult to make it? You actually think it'll be somewhat similar with just a few pieces different?
No, I think it'll be different. I think there's so many players in the pipeline, and players that are going to develop and come into the fold. You look at the U.S. team, they've got 9 guys that potentially could be there that'll be 30. I think the oldest would be 33 in 4 years. So they've got a lot of guys that'll be coming back up front and on the back end. That's just the forwards, 9 forwards. They got a bunch of guys in the back end too. So that whole team that just won will be back in 2030. So for Canada, you're looking
those numbers.
You what?
I said we all knew that. Not one of us knew that.
I knew that.
Okay. But if you look, you got Schaefer coming. You've got some of these younger guys that are going to be special. And what difference is it? How does that change the dynamic? Makar's that much older. McKinnon's that much older. McDavid's that much older. What does that look like? Who knows? Is Crosby, as Hazy said, is he going to be around for 4 more years?
Yeah.
No,
that might be a tall order.
38
that
years
might be
old.
A tall order.
That's asking
the guy's not playing at 42. Come on.
I know.
Well, you never know. He loves the game.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do too.
Yeah, 42 is a different beast. And there's so much talent, right? There's so much talent and competition on Canada. That's the thing. You can't just plug him in because you love good guy Sidney Crosby, right? And he wouldn't. That's not. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, 4 years is a long time, but we'll see. I mean, it's tough because the Americans, like you said, this is the one thing kind of Canada always had over them, even though games were close. Like in 2002, you guys took off a little bit. I think that ended 5-2, right? And once Sakic scored, it was like it's done.
But it was 2-2 and then 3-2 going into the third. So it was tight.
So tight, exactly. And 2010 was overtime, right? So it just we've been able as a country, because of the guys that played on those teams. You've granted us the opportunity to puff our chest out, but it's been close for a long time. And
2014, I think, was 2-1.
Yeah, it was a very close game. Very close game.
Yeah.
And all those games were close games. So that's just the way it plays. And now the Americans, they've found a way to win. So we got to live with it for 4 years.
So quickly, Prongs, we were talking about, Austin Matthews and some of the players that have just landed and they're going to party and then they're going to go to the White House and then they got to play on Wednesday. I mean, I can't remember what you ended up doing when you won. And did you resume play right away, or was some time that you were able to give yourself a couple days? I can't remember. Enlighten us.
No, in 2002, we took a private jet. Me, Al, we had Scott Young, Keith Kachuk, and Doug Wade from the losing American team on our plane flying to Vancouver. We played one day later, I believe. We had one practice day, and then we played. So, that we had a quick turnaround. And then when we won in Vancouver, I was on a private jet. We were playing in Florida, I believe. So me, Richards, Carter, and a few of us, Derek Settlemeyer, Nasty was the trainer for U.S. team. He was on the plane. We flew down to, I believe, Tampa, if I'm not mistaken, for a Florida trip right after Olympics. It was the next, I think it was like 6 or 7 in the morning.
Done, and I'm working now. Like, I have an owner and a GM and a coach and players who have been on the beach for 2 weeks, and I'm getting paid. These guys are happy for me, but they want to start winning. Like, how tough was it to kind of settle back into the NHL life?
Not tough at all. That's the expectation. And by the way, that's what they negotiated in the CBA. They want to go play in this, great, but you better come back and now be ready for this stretch drive and this playoff stretch. Like, that's
perfect.
You don't get time off because you won. The expectation is you're going to come. Yeah, exactly. The expectation is to come back and play and utilize what you learned over there, and use that now winning mentality or championship mentality and bring it to this team.
Well, let's see how that plays out.
No, I'm sorry. That maybe that's how they do it in the U.S., but that's not how we do it in Canada.
I love that. All right, Prongs.
Screw them. We're better.
Exactly. That's what we needed to hear. We come back and play in the NHL.
Yeah.
That's how we were raised.
That's right.
That's how we operate. All right, Prongs, great catching up with you, buddy. We'll do it again soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
There he is, Chris Pronger, Hall of Famer, multiple gold medals. And, there it is. All right. That's all I needed to hear. You better be. Austin better be. Everyone better be playing as of Wednesday night.
I'm trying to remember, because I was his teammate for a couple of those. I'm trying to remember what type of shape he was in getting off that plane. That's the other thing. He didn't lay that out there. So
we're getting plane pics. Like, I wouldn't say Matthews is walking off the plane looking like Tom Brady in the Tampa boat parade, but he looks like he's had a pretty good time, as he should. Of course,
party,
have
and
a
come
blast,
back and
man. You
be
won.
ready to play. Like, that's
100%.
Go and party and have a good time. At the end of the day, come back and play and use that knowledge. So that's the way I see it.
That's right. Well, and that's a good point. We'll get into that with Ray in 15. Like, how much can you really take from that and apply to the NHL?
Yeah.
What does it really mean in terms of projecting the final 25 games for all these guys?
Think about, like, just back to Canada for a second. Think about how different one play changes the narrative. Like, if Canada scores, we're not talking about mindset, attitude in games, and look for this type of player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, Jack Hughes scoring in 3-on-3 overtime, it's like changes everybody's narrative. What we have to look at as a country, how our vision of from one goal.
Yeah.
From one goal. I don't think we need to change a damn thing. I think that coach is the best coach in the world, and that was the best team, and they played the best, and they deserved to win, and they got goalied in 3-on-3 in overtime. A guy scored a goal.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to change anything, man. We don't need, just like the juniors, we don't need a summit.
I'm with you, but I would say on the other side of the mirror that if Canada did score, Bill Guerin would be getting destroyed today. For not having Caulfield there, for not having Robertson there, he'd get destroyed because of the way the game played out. Canada owned them.
That's the price of doing business,
No,
man.
I hear it.
You win, you get all the accolades. If you lose,
my
you get
point
torched.
is he's not. Now it's, no, he built the team to beat Canada. Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
He picked Hellebuyck, and Hellebuyck played.
Billy's
So
a
you're
smart
right.
guy. He knows the risks of that. He knew if they lost that, he would just get anybody that loses.
But I'm
gets
saying,
torched
like,
for
I don't
anything.
think Canada's. I don't think Doug Armstrong's getting torched. We haven't even mentioned his name. We haven't even talked about Doug Armstrong. But the way the game played out, Bill Guerin would have got destroyed if Canada won that game. If McKinnon scores in the empty net, he would have been destroyed for how he built that team. Hour 2 coming up. Ray Ferraro will join us. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on TSN 4.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Let's get down to business.
All right, Overdrive continues, brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Ray Ferraro coming up into the next hour, something to chew on. We'll get into that as well. We'll continue to look back on Canada-U.S. yesterday and start turning the page a little bit. Raptors on a heater, the Leafs back in action. The trade deadline's next Friday. You know, it's going to be here real quick, real soon. Deals are going to go down soon. Like I would guess in the next few days we'll have trades.
Yeah, you're going to have a Jerry's or maybe a list because I guarantee you there's going to be a ton of action.
Yeah,
when was it?
Last night, I think the freeze.
I thought for sure today there would have been some on lock saying, just let them rip, man.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some in the chamber, and it's coming, I think. So we'll get into that as well into the next hour. Hour 2 up next. Overdrive continues. TSN 4 and up on YouTube Live.
is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Take my breath.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Best bets later in the hour. We've got Ray Ferraro coming up in a few moments. We've got something to chew on a little bit later on. The Jays are back in Grapefruit League action. There's a lot going on all of a sudden. It's a great thing. And obviously yesterday was tough for Canadians, but you turn the page, and today's been a big day for us on a couple of different fronts. The O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, turning 50 years old today.
Wow.
Happy birthday to the O-Dog.
Yeah, 50, just get your attention.
Yeah, that one.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's an alert.
You're 50 years old. Like, remember when you were a kid? Like, you think of 50-year-old. Who's the guy, like, Wilford Brimley? That's what you think a 50-year-old looks like with the old cookie duster.
Yeah.
The guy from the Quaker Oats commercials.
Yeah,
it's like, that's what a 50-year-old looked like.
Yes. And he was like 50 in those spots.
Dude,
which
for
is
sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, it looked like he was 80, but he was 50 years old.
Yeah.
So then you hit 50, just a lot of time to reflect.
A lot of time to reflect. So we've got the O-Dog hitting 50 and, a little more self-serving in terms of the three of us, but we celebrated 10 years in the afternoon here as OverDrive, right? So that was really cool. Yesterday was the 10th anniversary, which is crazy. And they did an unbelievable job, SportsCenter, the top 10 moments. It was so good. There's 90 minutes of content up on YouTube, TSN's YouTube channel.
Is that even a positive that we could put 90 minutes?
90 minutes, not one sports take in there.
No, I know. It's not like they were great questions to guess. It's like farting and hey, this is Al's brother.
I forgot about a couple. The one was when he burped in Peter King's ear. I forgot about that.
That was rough. Peter King is an established journalist.
Like, real serious dude. And we had him on as a regular for like a year.
He quit, I think, after that. I don't think he ever came back.
He stopped taking our calls.
Yeah.
But I completely forgot about that one.
That one I would have forgotten about.
There's things that, you jog your memory and all of that. The little
JP, do we have a quick Peter King burper?
Well, not on the fly. We will get it for later in the hour. We will play it later in the hour. So there's all these memories out there, and TSN has obviously been incredibly supportive, and there's been so many people that have helped us along the way. And there's obviously the PR here. They decided they were going to kind of blast it out, a little public release, and there it is up on the screen. And they also do some internal stuff throughout Bell. Right, so it says TSN's OverDrive celebrates 10 years as Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog share their top 10 moments. And as Joe from the Bridge is scrolling up on YouTube Live at TSN, you can see it goes TSN's fan favorite, blah, 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 TSN's beloved, blah, blah, blah. As Canada's #1 sports talk show, OverDrive has provided fans with a decade's worth of entertaining insights into the life of the sports world, including interviews with players, coaches, reporters, blah, blah, blah. And then you can see I'm kind of bloviating here. I got an answer. They asked for something. I said, hit the 10-year mark means the world to us, and we don't take it lightly, which is true, 100% genuine. Noodles, you jump in with the memories all blend together because we've blinked, and it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And then if you scroll down a little bit, it says, Jeff O'Neill could not be reached for comment.
You know what? I got to be honest.
That's our own press release. That's TSN's press release.
You flushed.
Jeff O'Neill could not be reached for comments on our 10-year anniversary press release.
Was that Rob Duffy email thing? I know. I got busy, and Hayes, I even know you followed up saying, hey, toss in you got to respond to this.
I did.
I'll be dead honest with you. I hate doing it. I don't like it.
Okay.
But I promised my intentions were to do that one, and I just got busy with my birthday and stuff. I was running. I just said screw it. I said screw.
How great
I
is
just
that?
said I'm in too deep.
All right, you're in too deep. I love that they put that in, though.
I love that they said that. It was like, I missed that. I'm telling you. I looked at that. They basically said this guy he dusted us off. That is the best.
Isn't that incredible? Jeff O'Neill could not be reached for comment by his employers.
Who wrote that? Is that
someone
Rob
from
Duffy?
TSN. I don't know. I'm not going to out Rob necessarily. Probably was, and if he did, I love him because that's a brilliant play.
Couldn't he cover for me though and just make up a comment? I've had a great time on OverDrive.
Like that's what you see in like the New York Times when a senator's been arrested or something.
I know a criminal doesn't show up for court.
He couldn't be reached for comment.
Yeah,
but the O-Dog just couldn't get him. We tried.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried.
Not available. That is actually our show in a nutshell.
That's the
right there.
greatest.
Dude, I think that's a sewer job. On my birthday, he could not be reached for comment.
Could not be reached for comment.
Yeah, like I went to some foreign country of like evading police.
Right. Tax evasion. God. Couldn't be reached
I'm
for
in
comment.
Costa Rica, like avoiding Rob Duffy for a comment.
That is the greatest.
It's so good.
I applaud him for that or whoever put that in there because that's exactly. I got a comment. I actually called him because I said I don't love because he had those questions or whatever. I said I don't love writing questions out on that. I said, can I send you a voice note? He goes, done. Just text it to me.
Brilliant.
So I sent him a voice note, like a 2-minute voice note saying, it's been awesome with the guys. Blinking, it's 10 years, all of that type of stuff. Jeff O'Neill, unavailable for comment.
Could not be reached for comment.
Ever.
It's so good. A TSN's personal press release. This isn't about
our show.
Yeah, about our show. Like this isn't the Athletic trying to do something or the Star. You know, this is TSN's internal.
I personally think it's a sewer job. Like you could shoot me a text saying, "Hey, can I just make this up?"
Yeah. Well, Jeff O'Neill would have been excited. Said he was very excited to be on the show. Something like that. You're right. There probably could have been a little bit of a fake on it.
Sure.
But he was like, "No way, Jeff O'Neill not available for comment."
I think it's actually raw and authentic and exactly the way it should be.
Yeah.
I bet you our next guest would agree with that. Bang on. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can you tell Ray what this guy did?
He may be watching and maybe he knows what's going on. Let's bring him in. One of our original, probably the first guest we ever had was Ray Ferraro. There he is. Yeah. What's happening, Ray?
Yeah, 10 years of OverDrive. Congrats. Hayes, we've been at it, I don't know, 12 years?
Longer than that.
Yeah, Ray, it's been very special. I just want to share with you, I want Hayes to read you
let me read this to you, okay?
Press release.
So we've, TSN, nice enough to send it, blast out a press release. You know how this works, right?
Sure.
It goes everywhere, and they posted it. There's a big internal kind of catalog of what happens within Bell, like the larger company, not just Bell Media. And, so they blasted out, and we're celebrating 10 years of, Canada's #1 sports talk show. And I'm in there quoted as saying, hitting the 10-year mark means the world to us. We don't take it lightly, blah, blah, blah. Noodles chimes in with the memories all blend together, but it's incredible. And then it gets to the bottom of the press release, and it goes, Jeff O'Neill could not be reached for comment. And that's his contribution. Could not be reached for comment.
Hang on a sec, Ray.
Blasted out.
Ray, hear me out. I got an email, and I forgot to write something back. And it's my birthday today. I've been very busy the last 10 days. And even Hayes, when I know he's serious, he said, guys, you got to respond to this and get it done. And in my head, I'm like, this is one I actually got to do. And then I just got in too deep, and I said, piss on it. I can't do it now. It's too late.
There is... I understand all of that, and it is so on brand. Like, how many times is you're like, whatever, write whatever you want. Right? I'm not doing that.
Not doing it.
Do anything.
Hey, that is just, honestly, that's about, had you written something, it would have taken the zip out of that press release.
Yeah, exactly.
This is perfect.
You're right. It's actually better that he didn't. It's better that he didn't.
For sure.
Because then they'll actually know Hayes and Noodles actually supplied quotes. I
got a feeling that guy's pissed at me and he hates my guts because I didn't get back to him.
Definitely possible.
Maybe, but it's your
possible.
birthday. It's going to go by. Everyone, is there a cake or anything or
No, nothing. We get a press release. That's all. That's what we get.
We get a press release.
We get a press release. That's as far as it's going. It's not going any further than that. Oh man,
good.
It's great to have you on as always, and. Man, everyone is, I guess, the dust hasn't settled. I don't know if it will for another 4 years, right? But I feel like everyone has the same view. Canada played great. The Americans kind of held on. Hellebuyck was phenomenal, but then Jack Hughes got the job done. Like, is there any other angle that we're missing here? You know, is there anything else you've been thinking of the last 24 hours that you think is worthy of kind of contributing to this 24-hour constant chatter on both sides of the border about the game?
No, not at all. Because if you think about the biggest of games, right? There's the margin is minuscule. Canada had 5 grade A+ chances. I would bet one of those 5 goes in almost any other day. I mean, start with McKinnon's, right? The open net. Devon Taves. If Hellebuyck doesn't have that overhead picture in his house by Thursday, he's missing the boat on the save. So there's those 2, the Wilson one that hits Hellebuyck, and then McAvoy, and the 2 breakaways. You'd think they'd get one of them. And what really, I guess, cements that for me is that even like the U.S. has said, you know, Hellebuyck was unbelievable. It was Bucky's game. He was, you know, it's not like they have a different view of it. I think they had did they have 12 shots in the second and third periods combined, something like that. Canada was great. They just didn't score. And maybe that's why best on best of anything is the best. It's because these guys are all so great. The games are so intense, and it doesn't take much to change the outcome of it.
So with Ray, with how close that game was and the chances and opportunities, like, do you think that makes any sense to reflect on it if you're Team Canada and look for a philosophy change or anything different? Or did they just keep plodding along and that's just the best they got and it was good enough and they lost the game? That's it.
You know, I think the philosophy change has been made by Macklin Celebrini, and that's don't be scared of a young kid. Like, I understand you want the security of veterans, you want their stability, but what if Matthew Schaefer was in that lineup somewhere? Josh Morrissey goes out. What if I know overtime lasted 2 minutes, but wouldn't that have been a place that maybe Schaefer could have made a difference? And so I think if there's anything to go back and look upon is don't be scared of youth, because the younger players today are more prepared to play at the highest level than we ever were. When we were 19, 20, 21, 22, we weren't prepared to be anywhere near that stage. Even if we were good enough.
Popping zits in our parents' basement.
Right? Like, it just wasn't, these guys are ready to play. They're ready to contribute. And I would think that's the one thing that stood out to me.
What about, we had Pronger on last hour, and he talked about, the pressure that when he was at the Olympics, you could feel the pressure and the pressure that these guys put on each other. And, Cooper puts out the 3 best players in the world, in my opinion. He puts out McDavid, he puts out McKinnon, McCarr. I mean, unfortunately, there's some mistakes in front of Binnington. I thought there was 3 or 4 mistakes on that goal, but it ends up in the back of your net. When you're looking at this, McDavid now has had some crushing. Like, you go to it, you have 2 Stanley Cup Finals, and now this. Where are you at with 97? And he seemed almost paralyzed after the game in his comments, and that he's got to come back and try and win a Stanley Cup this year. I mean, where are you at with that? And I still think there's lots of runway, but here is, proof is in the pudding. This guy has to try and get some wins.
It's amazing how quickly the years just melt away. And, he's not 24 anymore. And you're like, well, the next one, he's going to be 31 years old. Like, pretty soon, the runway gets short. I saw some criticism about the rush he made in overtime. I'm sure you weren't much different than me. When I looked up and I had a one-on-one and Chris Pronger was back there, I was like, oh God, this is going to be embarrassing. I don't even want to attempt it. If I saw a forward skating backwards, even me, I'm attacking the forward. McDavid's the best in the world. He's got he's got Jack Hughes skating backwards. Jack Hughes is not going to win the Conn Smythe at any time. So, of course, he's going to attack him. And it didn't work. And then, I don't know, I'd like to have Cale Makar on my blue line, and he tripped. And then if you look at the view of him coming back into the play, there's that moment of, oh, crap, that puck's coming to my guy. Because he stopped skating for, man, it's just a second, right? It's like bang, bang. And then the puck's over there, it's in the net, it's over. As for McDavid, I don't know, he had 11 points in the first 11 periods of the thing. And I find it hard to really critique what could he do. Well, I guess he could have shot one in the net, or when he passed to Celebrini, Macklin could have scored in that one in the slot. And I find it pretty hard to, even with the Stanley Cups, he's got to win a cup. But the other guys have to win a cup too. Like, he's not going to win it himself. He won the bloody Conn Smythe, and they lost. Now, I don't know that he should have been the MVP of this tournament, but he was certainly in the top two, and they lost. But
what do you think his mindset
pressure doesn't.
is, Ray?
I think with him, his mindset will never ever change. He talked at the start of the year that, he's got points that he was trying to hit, high points in the season and get off to a great start. But the Olympics and then the playoffs, like most of these guys put so much effort into going to the Olympics, being there, getting a chance to get into the gold medal game. And man, it's got to feel incredibly deflating. You just sit there and they give you that stuffy bear or whatever, along with the silver medal. What do you think those stuffy bears looked like in the locker room? It must have looked like.
Who decided? What meeting did someone decide? Give a grown-ass man who just had his heart ripped out a little stuffy thing that you can win with the claw thing at a bowling alley. Like, it's insanity. It's insanity.
When McKinnon looked at the medal and then that bear, I'm like, oh my God, I'd like to see that 10 seconds from now. Like the head of that little bear is ripped off. All of those guys, like, what are they doing with that? Come on.
Those are getting chucked immediately into the stands.
You actually saw him look at it, and I swear, if there was a thought bubble, it was WTF. Like, he looked at it and shook his head.
Yeah.
Like, what did I just get handed here? Like, he was so mad, but he was trying to be composed, and this guy gave him the right handshake, not even a handshake, and handed him a stuffy bear. Like, it was outrageous, that transaction.
Completely absurd transaction. Yes. Well, you know what? I guess the analogy I would use with McDavid, it's like McElroy at Augusta, where are you good enough to win? Of course. Are you clutch? Of course you're clutch. Are you great? Are you better than everyone? Is the course set up perfectly for you? But until you get the green jacket, you can't move the goalposts. And when you do, you're going to break down on the 18th green. When you do, you're going to break down at center ice and say, I finally did it. But that's like, Noodles, you and I were talking about it earlier. Like, people are saying, wow, the narrative that he's not a winner, he hasn't won. I'm like, guys, he hasn't won. Like, it's not a narrative, it's a fact. He had the Four Nations, and that counts for something. I don't know exactly what it will count for historically, but it's not even a clutch topic. It's definitely not a talent topic. It's not a player ranking topic. It's simply black or white. You've either won or you haven't, and in particular, in your prime. And history would tell you, again, it's not a narrative, it's not a subjective opinion, it will tell you.
Just gets harder, dude.
It gets harder, and Gretzky, Crosby, Lemieux, or Howe, like the other guys who were in his category, there's like 7 guys. By the time they were 29, they had won cups, Canada Cups, gold medals. They had done it. Like they
but Hayes, they were also done. They were also done. Gretzky did not win after he left Edmonton. Bobby Orr did, won early in his career and then never won again. To the guy's points, man, it's what's going to get easier? He's got 2 years in Edmonton, right? That he already he's signed up for. And I don't know what you guys think, but somehow we're going to have to get back to the NHL at some point. And man, does Edmonton really have it this year?
Not the way they're built right now.
No way. And so there goes another year. Right there, and it's off, and then, oh my God, it's almost like when somebody, I forget how old he was, but someone called Crosby Sid the Kid, and I was like, my God, he's 34. You know, it was like something like that. I'm like, he's not even close to a kid anymore. And Connor's going to get to the same place. And you're right. A narrative is, oh, he always misses a breakaway. A fact is, he hasn't won. And you know, on the U.S. side, I would say probably the one guy that got to skate away yesterday and go, you know, screw you guys, was Connor Hellebuyck, because he had never won the big one, right? And man, he was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know, but Connor Hellebuck's a great example. Like, do you not think some of the Winnipeg Jets players were looking at him and saying, could he use some of those? Like, he was letting wrist shots in from just inside the blue line. And I know that he has a different view and he loves shoving it in people's faces. And he said yesterday, I see my game different. I'm always confident in my game. The bottom line is, the last couple playoffs, he hasn't played well enough. That's just a simple fact of it.
Yes.
And yesterday he got it done. So however he thinks about his own game, that's fine, and he should be proud of himself for the way he played yesterday. But Hayes, you talked about it. It's not opinion or just this isn't a hot take about his play. He wasn't very good. He was letting in goals that were ridiculous and costing his team hockey games.
Yeah.
Wait till these guys go back and line it up Wednesday or Thursday, and they take their first pass off their ankle bone, or they're they're going to be like, wait a minute, where did they find these bartenders from? Like, who the hell are these guys?
It is. Isn't that
Big
crazy?
time.
You go back to the NHL, and you know it's a
Best
step
league in
down.
the world.
Some of these teams are some of these players step down because they weren't there. But it's you look at it, and they've got to somehow find a way to get back into a cadence and a rhythm. And keep in mind, you signed up for, you've got 16 games in March because of the condensed schedule.
Mm-hmm. Well, how do they use this, Ray, in your opinion? Because everyone's having this chat now, especially in Toronto, because obviously, Leaf fans, the majority of them are Canadians, so they're on the wrong side of it. But everyone wants to try to apply Austin Matthews winning gold in a positive manner for the Leafs down the stretch. Like,
He's a winner now.
Do you see that? Can you align the two? Like, how can this benefit the Leafs or any of the teams that any of these American players play for?
Well, he is a winner. They just won. What I saw, though, is a player that didn't step outside the team, right? Like, I think that is maybe at the phase of where he's at, is that he's not a standalone player right now. He's one of the group. Very good. He was excellent, especially early in the gold medal game. I thought he was awesome. But he's not a standalone lead the charge player. Like, that's not, in my mind, that's not where he is. Is he better than Jack Eichel? I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah.
Not right now, no.
No, I mean, like, it doesn't matter whether he scored 60 goals before or not. It doesn't matter. It's right now, he's not. And so in the context of a team like that, I think that's one way to look at where Matthews is, because when he comes back to Toronto, I mean, we watched at least for 50 games here. Do we not have a picture of what they're all about? It's not going to be the same. How could it be the same? He might think about himself different, and he should, because they did win. And he was the captain. And the players, I do believe there's a different Matthews than the one we ever see, because the players talk about him in a different way. I found that really, like, how quickly Quinn Hughes jumped up and, when somebody asked him about Toronto, and he's like, come on, man, let me live in the moment. And then how Hughes jumped in. I feel like there's a different way the players view him as opposed to what we might think.
And what he might show the general public, too, right? Go ahead.
The other thing to add on, I know you want to jump in, but the other thing to add on to your comment, Ray, is we don't know in this break what the mandate has been for Brad Treliving. Keep in mind that the trade deadline is what? How far away is it? 10 days?
Yeah, next Friday, yeah.
So what is the mandate? What are the Leafs doing? They've got a couple unrestricted free agents that they probably have to deal with. Like, they've got some things going. Chris Tanev skating, So what is the Leafs what is the thought process going to be? Austin Matthews is stepping back into what? Is the team, all in to try and make the playoffs, or are they going to, quietly or not quietly anywhere here, but retool or maybe make some moves up to this deadline? So he could be stepping back into something that maybe the course has changed here for the Leafs when he gets back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all know that too much time to think is a dangerous thing. And
right.
The GMs have just had 2 weeks to think. And I wonder, I assume it's going to be pretty busy. We've kind of now separated the teams that are clearly moving on. Like there's now a half a dozen or 8 of them that you can go, yeah, they're trading players. Well, they got to go somewhere. So there's going to be, I think there'll be a pretty busy stint here in the next 10 days.
Yeah. Well, and I think from Matthews' perspective, like you said, him not being a standalone guy anymore doesn't mean he's not a great player and a huge contributor.
Right.
He needs more help maybe than he did 4 or 5 years ago. And he didn't have enough help 4 or 5 years ago because it was the core 4 and they put all into that and they could make the playoffs with their eyes closed, but they couldn't get it done in the playoffs. That means at this juncture of his career, he's going to have to rely on management even more, like to help him out and to filter through the system and make sure you have depth and make sure you have the right goaltender and the right coach. And, that's I'm sure what conversation he's going to have once he sobers up. Like, I'm coming home and what are we doing here? Not necessarily the final 25 games, but you mentioned McDavid. He's got 2 years left. So does Austin. Like, Austin's got 2 years left. So something's going to have to give, I would think, on the Leaf front.
Well, one thing I thought we didn't talk about was the 3-on-3. And I had a thought this morning. I was talking to a guy and he mentioned biggest sporting event on the planet is the World Cup. And if they're tied after overtime, they go to penalty kicks.
Yep.
And so that's like, I don't think there's it felt like, that was just more frustration than anything else for Cooper, but it was kind of in my mind, the wrong time to debate whether, it's not like the ref skated over there and gave each coach a piece of paper and it said 3-on-3. And that's the first time they heard of it. Right. Like it could have easily have gone the other way and it didn't. And so I know there's lots of people saying that's no way to decide a championship. Well, soccer does it. And it's the biggest event in the world in sports. And so I don't see the problem.
Those are the rules.
Yeah.
Sid scored. It was 4-on-4. It wasn't 5-on-5 in 2010. No one's put an asterisk on that. That's just a reality. Those are the rules. Everyone knew what they signed up for. The Olympics are different.
Yeah.
It's not an NHL sanctioned event. That's the way it goes. That's the way it's going to work in the future too. All right, Ray, we'll leave it there. Great catching up with you, buddy. Thank you for doing this as always, and we'll do it again soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Oh, have a great decade. Hope the 50s are awesome, big boy.
There you go.
Great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ray. There's Ray Ferraro.
Look at he's just so pumped, isn't he?
He's just
I'm
in
50
such a
now,
great
man.
mood.
I'm more mature now.
He's more mature.
You know what you should be? Yeah, you know what, though? You should be more pissed off if you didn't make it. So congratulations.
That's right.
There you go.
The alternative sucks, man.
The alternative's not good. It's not good. You made it to 50, buddy, and that's a big accomplishment. You should be happy.
Yeah,
about
even
that.
working with you, Hayes, it's a freaking amazing thing. Amazing.
It's been a long time for all of us. Believe me, that's a two-way street. In this case, a four-way street. It's a roundabout.
Was it 12 years ago on Blue Lunch where you had the argument to Phil Kessel and Sidney Crosby?
Yeah, and Sid. And I still stand by that take.
So you guys just hang on a second.
Noodles.
What was the argument about?
Oh, I witnessed it. I was sitting
Sid
there.
coming back from a concconcussion. It was the rest of the year.
But what did Phil Kessel have to do with
I have no. It was
he
Toronto
said
radio.
he
Who
would
would you take? Phil Kessel? Go ahead, Ray.
Phil Kessel or Sidney Crosby, and he took Phil Kessel. Oh, can you believe the stupidity of that?
Here's why I was right, because
Jesus
Sid suffered
Christ.
another concussion like 3 weeks later. where
Dude, I don't
Phil was
care
out
if
there playing.
if Sid had his head cut off. You're not taking Phil over Sid.
Dude, Phil kept playing. Phil kept playing.
Do you know what's guys? I'm going to leave on this. One of the saddest things is that might not even have been his most ridiculous take in the dozen or so years.
No chance.
I've got one, Hayes. I've got one where you decided that the fans should have an input into all player personnel decisions. They should.
Oh
do you
my
remember
Yeah.
that?
I'm still working on it.
And I'm like, how is that going to work? And you're like, well, they care, and they should. I'm like, what an idiotic tape that
I got to
was.
go back and hear that tape because I had something cooking there and I let it die on the vine. But I'll bring that back. When I turn 50, I'm going to write a book on that tape.
That's a great
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. It's
Have a
coming.
good one, guys. See ya.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
There he is, Ray Ferraro, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. It's time to Toyota in the 2025 Prius. Go up to 72 kilometers on battery alone, then seamlessly switch to hybrid mode. Check it out at Maple Toyota, your Canada's Wonderland of the Maple Auto Mall. All right, best bets coming up. Something to chew on coming up. Jays are in action. The Raptors are playing. The Leafs will be in action on Wednesday. We think Matthews will be there. He's got to be there. Certainly he'll be there.
He'll be there.
He'll be there. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
You two idiots are perfect for each other.
Here we go.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Speaking about our show, I horrified a couple guys last week. I think I made them sick. My contractor had a couple guys down here doing some paint and drywalling and stuff, and at 4 p.m., they didn't speak great English, and I explained, I said, I have to start my job right now, and there can't be any loud noises. And I think they could tell, obviously, when I turned the lights on and the TV, like it's television, right? But I'm in my basement. And this was at 4 o'clock. And I said, I'm starting my job at 4 o'clock. And they were like working their asses off. And then at 6, I wrapped up and I took my headset off, and they looked and they're like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, you put in your work, man. That's how it works.
The look on their face when I said, they wanted to stuff me in a garbage can.
Yes, I could understand that. We live with that. It's the way it works. A lot of prep. A lot of operation, a lot of communication. There's a lot of things that go into this, right, behind the scenes. But in terms of 4 to 6, yes. Now, at the same time, we can't hide anywhere. Like, you know where we are from 4 to 6. Yes. You know, like I get it from people too, and it's like, well, what did you do today? Well, we went for coffees, and then we kind of hung out and talked for a bit. I'm like, well, we're on. You know, when we're on, we're working. So
yeah, I love the people that just go and sit in their cubicle and they go on TikTok all day and they act like they're on the grind 24/7,
grinding it out. Grinding it out. Exactly. Well, you know what's actually could be a shorter gig. In fact, it absolutely will once it actually takes place. But a lot of prep has to go into it. I saw that, I guess, Floyd Mayweather's fighting Manny Pacquiao again. Have you seen this? It was announced.
How old are those guys?
Wow.
I thought he was fighting Tyson.
I thought Mayweather was fighting Tyson as well, but this is like a new development, which they got to be into their 50s. Mayweather's got to be 50s, probably O's age, I would think. And Pacquiao's, I think, older than him. Like, they fought, the last time they fought was like 11 years ago.
Doesn't that a meme when Pacquiao was KO'd and like sleeping on the ground or something?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the Mayweather fight, though. I don't know if Mayweather did knock a lot of guys out.
Somebody gave it to Pacquiao where he was like sleeping on, like somebody gave it to him.
Yeah, you're right.
Good.
Pacquiao's 47.
Pacquiao's 47.
Man, oh man!
I just don't know if I have any interest in that.
No,
you know,
dude.
like that was a big fight. The hype for that fight was massive,
unreal.
And in terms of Pacquiao around the world was so famous, and
the big rumor on social media, which is a horrifying thing to even say, is Mayweather somehow ran out of some money and he needs some more money. That is what.
Usually when fighters get back in the ring, it's because they need more money. You know, what do you think Tyson's doing?
How could Floyd, you know how much money Floyd Mayweather had?
Hundreds of millions.
But you know how
Mike
much
Tyson went through 325 buying snakes and lions and stuff for his buddies.
I know, and Don King bought himself 5 Bentleys. I remember years ago, before kind of social media, reading an article in USA Today and how Tyson had burned through $300 million and had back taxes on a house in Hartford and a house everywhere, Connecticut and all of that. And it was like Don King had written himself a check for 5 Bentleys. And it was just the amount of money that went out the door. And this, you know, obviously he was a kid just worried about boxing, but he was managed by wrong people, surrounded himself with the wrong people. It's not like he was the greatest human on earth either. He went to jail and all of that type of stuff too. So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know. Mayweather makes a lot, but he spends a lot. But maybe
no
they're just
questioning
bored.
that. That's another thing. It's like if he's undefeated in his career. And he's so fast and so good and so defensive. Like, he probably thinks, I'm not going to get touched. Like, he fought Conor McGregor, and it was a joke, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like he's so good, even at his age. He's probably both of them are like, hey, let's go in, throw a couple punches. You know, like the Jake Paul stuff. It's like, how real is it? I know Paul has been hit a few times, and I think his most recent fight, he got beat up pretty badly. But I don't know. Boxing just isn't what it once was. Like when we were young growing up, man, boxing was still huge.
Huge.
Like when Tyson was coming up in the 80s, he was massive.
Dude,
massive in terms of superstardom and having to see his fights. But it would just, you know, we don't live in that world anymore. All right, something to chew on brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. Enjoy $15 lunch at BP where you get an entree, a side, and a drink, and you'll get it all in 20 minutes or less. A fast lunch doesn't have to be fast food. See you for a $15 fast lunch at your local Boston Pizza. I've been asking people online, obviously coming off the Canada-U.S. game yesterday, which moment will Canadian hockey fans kind of be haunted by the most? Is it the McKinnon empty net miss or the Hellebuyck save on Taves? Like, those appear to be the two that come up the most.
McKinnon, man.
Your vote's McKinnon?
That's like top 2 or 3 player in the world with an empty net that he scores a million. He scores with the goalie squared up.
Yeah, against UC Soros was square and it went through him.
Yes, and it went through him. And that thing, like, no one was making a save on that. It was a wide open empty net, and it just was.
I can't believe he missed that.
I know.
I think Hellebuyck was in his head, man. I think Hellebuyck was so.
Dude, that is a stupid thing to say.
I think it was in his head. He rushed it. He got it off too quick. He had a wide open cage. What was his excuse?
I gotta interject. I'm sorry.
NHL player stepping in. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would never, ever Ryan Clark you and say NHL player and you're not. But the idea of Hellebuyck getting in Nathan McKinnon's head, do you not remember when Colorado pumped 8 by him every night in a series? Nobody gets in that guy's head.
That wasn't the case yesterday,
That take is an outrageous one. That's as dumb as saying the fans should pick the staff of NHL teams.
Ray, that's an erroneous. I don't even remember that. There was more context to that. That's like the Hall of Fame thing with plaques and all that.
Dude,
there was more. There was depth. But here's let me follow it up with this. Celebrini had 2 incredible chances in the slide. He shot him wide both times. Like, that to me is, I got to be perfect to beat this guy. Like, I got to be perfect. Noodles, you can speak to because you've been on the other side.
Dude, these guys are so good. No goalie makes them say, I got to be perfect here. They're so confident. They score so many points.
Then hit the net.
But I think what
You've
these
gone
guys
offside. You've gone too far now. I'm sorry.
What these guys do, is they do look for the perfect play because they train to go bar down. They train to go post in. They train. I think McKinnon just tried to rush it. I don't know if it was Hellebuyck so much.
Can you explain to him that he didn't get intimidated by Hellebuyck, please?
I'm not saying intimidated. I'm not.
You said
I think he rushed it because he knew I got to get this off. Go ahead, Noodles.
I think you rush it because you're going. This guy is going to get over at some point. He tried to take it from back end to forehand or whatever, just turned it, and it looked to me, if you look from the behind angle, that he turned it a little bit, like he didn't fire it into the net and follow through.
He just whiffed on it a little bit. But can you please explain to him that Hellebuyck didn't get in McDavid's or McKinnon's head?
I don't know if they listen. If a guy's having a game, don't you think that you think, okay, it's going to take a perfect shot. It is going to take something to beat this guy. I think McKinnon, it may not be in his head, but you're aware that this guy's having a game and you're going to need to get it away quickly. I think.
Okay, let me just state this fact: Hellebuyck was basically in the corner. And what goal? You don't have to say, Hellebuyck's going to say it. He was out of the play, not even a factor. Go to the freeze frame. Joe from the bridge, put up a freeze frame. It's a wide open net. No one's in anybody's head.
And the erroneous
comment.
Well, here's the other thing. Hellebuyck was out of the net on the Taves play. And he somehow got a stick on.
That's right.
Like, that's I think
you're feeding the monster now, Jamie.
I'm not feeding the monster.
Yeah, you are.
McDavid, Celebrini breakaway.
You're throwing breadcrumbs to the pigeon.
Dude, he played the game of his life.
What I'm saying is that Connor
Crazy-ass stuff, man.
Connor Hellebuyck had the game of his life, and this isn't a backup goalie. This wasn't Eric Comrie, that his backup that came over. Connor Hellebuyck has won 2 Vezinas in a row and a Hart Trophy. Arguably the best goaltender on the planet. I think Vasilevsky is, but Hellebuyck has been that good. Mm-hmm. And, even watching him and listening to him talk, I felt like I was on my game. He certainly was on his game. I thought he made some big saves. Nobody's brought up the 5-on-3.
5-on-3. Now, they fumbled that. They couldn't get out of their own way, but yes.
I know, but, you got a 5-on-3 with that talent on the ice, and you got 2 grade A chances that they can, and Hellebuyck made a couple good saves in tight. But Hellebuyck was brilliant, but he also had a night where it was like some brilliant luck. And we pointed the Taves stick. 98 out of 100 times that goes in. Just because you're reaching back, doesn't mean you're going to get it. McKinnon, how many times, out of 100, if McKinnon had that shot again, would he score? 98?
In the NHL, 99, and if it's against
so let's just say 90.
Any other goalie, yeah. I mean,
Right.
you might miss it sometimes, but...
And what I'm saying is, even the Tom Wilson, that gets past Hellebuyck, and McAvoy's sitting there behind him, it hits him in the chest. They had a night, or Hellebuyck had a night, where everything went perfect for him. It felt perfect for him. And that's unfortunate, because I don't think Canada should be sad. There's the Stillo. You're right. Look that's a wide open net.
Yeah, what's intimidating about that? Like you think, he just whiffed the shot. Crazy comment.
He
comment.
rolled his stick over, and even the trajectory of that puck, he tried to get it away quick, just in case Hellebuyck did push across.
That's exactly right, Noodles.
But
just in case.
Well, you have to, just in
breadcrumbs.
case.
Listen,
you're just like Jalen Rose in the peeler joint throwing breadcrumbs through a pigeon.
It's just like if you're going into the paint and Shaquille O'Neal's waiting for you, it's going to affect your mentality. Like it's going to affect your mentality. If Mutombo, if Wembanyama's waiting for you, you're like, I'm going to adjust how I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to adjust how I might, because your opponent is kind of worthy of that mentality.
Can I just chime in with one thing? If I was getting a one-timer and I was feeling good about my game when I was scoring 30 and 40 goals, I didn't care if Hasek or Wall was in the net. I knew if I slotted one on a quick pass, there's no goalie saving it. Nobody's intimidated by anybody when you're at that level. Sorry.
Okay. I can't speak to that experience, but I would argue a one-timer is drastically different than getting the puck, realizing I got to go backhand, forehand, and get it off quick.
There
was
no backhand there.
Yes, there was. He had to drag it.
Didn't he have to take it on his backhand and put it to his forehand, or no?
Well, let's get 6 stills in a row, Joe, from the bridge.
No, do what we did last week. Get the painting, the oil painting.
JFK files. But a one-timer is totally different. One-timer, you don't even know where the hell that's going half the time.
Dude, that was a quick little one-timer. It did not touch his backhand, period.
But let me ask you this, and this is actually a dead honest question, though.
Yes.
And you can speak to it. If you were shooting on Craig Billington or Marty Brodeur,
Same guy.
Who intimidated you more? Did you, if you're coming down the wall, I'm just asking. I'm just saying, because Billington was his backup, right?
Same guy.
Guys, this is my point.
Yeah.
It didn't matter about anyone in the net on that play. It was an empty net.
Yeah,
he whipped the shot. That's
this
it.
Particular play,
there was no getting intimidated in a split second like this. Guy scores that goal 99 times out of 100.
Why didn't he do it that time? It's a total fluke,
dude.
Why didn't he do it that time?
Once in a while, you get a shot where you're just like, I've done this 100 times, and you whiff on it. That's life.
Yeah,
there's
he whiffed
not.
On it.
Do you think this is how fast that sport is in that split second? Celebrini passes it, and do you think in a split second all you're thinking about is shooting in the back of the net? Do you think you have time to process subconsciously? Oh, Hellebuyck's playing great. Maybe he might sweep across. What?
Yeah, that's
the craziest ass stuff I've ever heard.
You're being disingenuous now. It's not.
No, I'm not, dude.
That's not. No one's talking about intimidate. No one's scared.
You just said Hellebuyck intimidated him.
I said he was playing so well. I think it had a factor on him getting it off as quickly as he did.
This guy's going to win the Hart Trophy this year.
That has nothing to do with anything. He still missed the shot, dude. No. He missed the shot. Gordy brings up a good point. It's like golfing with a gallery. If you're on a range, you can hit any shot you want. If there's other people around, it affects your mentality. If you're in the moment,
not with that guy.
Well, evidently it is with that guy because he missed it.
He whiffed the shot.
Okay. So then there's no deeper analysis to anything. It's just whiff the shot.
You ever seen Austin Matthews whiff a one-timer where you're like,
hey,
man,
you know what happened yesterday? He passed the puck when he had a wide open shot 2 feet north of the crease. And he passed for a perfect opportunity. Do I know this definitively why he did it? No. Do I think there's a chance that all he's done is lose his whole career and he freaked out in a moment? Possibly.
Anyway.
Possibly.
My birthday. We disagree.
Right.
Sorry.
There you go.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I got intimidated by Jamie and
It's not intimidation. No, you're really leaning
you guys
into that word.
Intimidated me. I don't want to keep talking about it.
It's not about being scared, or it's about having an effect on something. It's cause and effect, dude.
Okay, my point is that if you're a fourth-line pigeon, that might be something that creeps into your head. Nathan McKinnon, not him. He whiffed on the shot. That's it.
All right.
You're creating false narratives.
Well, it's my opinion of what I think happened.
That's false.
Okay. I'm standing by it. It's cause and effect. And I think, yes, Celebrini, obviously you're not sitting there stopping thinking, I'm going to go right here. But as a shooter, like whether you shoot low side, stick side, shoot high, shoot 5-hole, whatever, you're thinking about like where you're going to shoot it to an extent.
Once again, it's a split second where you're like, I'm going to try this shot. This is going to be my best attempt. And if he saves it, he saves it. Sometimes the guy makes a save.
But you know the difference between the two.
Him.
You know the difference between the two. You're a professional. You know the difference between shooting high and shooting low. Anyway.
Oh, what are you saying? Celebrini should have shot high?
Well, he did. A couple of them. He shot it wide.
He had a breakaway. He tried to go 5-hole.
Yes,
the goaltender saved it. Maybe we weren't even watching the same game. I don't even know.
I'm talking late in the game when they actually coming off the Bennett 4-on-4, and they set up. Go back and watch it. Celebrini had at least one, if not two, shot. He went back and looked at the iPad and was all pissed off
because
he had great opportunities.
Send me the oil paintings and I'll look at it later on tonight.
Please do.
The stills.
All right. We'll come back with our best bets powered by FanDuel. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Just want to thank every former NHL player that shot me a note and agreed with me and thinks that Hayes is smoking weed. Thank you.
All right. There he is. Ryan Clark joining us here on OverDrive. Like, just an outrageous approach. To think that you've never been affected by Scott Stevens instead of somebody else on the wall.
Dude, 50
maybe would affect you a little bit.
50 players just shot me a note and said the goalie had no effect. He just
I had 3 players send me, and I got more coming in. Actually, now I got 10, 15. I got 20. They're constantly coming in.
Let's finish it off tomorrow. We're fine. Happy birthday, 50th.
Yes.
Have some cake. Have
this
some
was your
steak
big day.
tonight.
This was the day I was going to agree with you.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
We love you.
I would agree with you
You're
today
man,
and today only. But as of tomorrow, I have to disagree with things again.
We'll finish it tomorrow.
Yes,
but
we will.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday to the O-Dog, the OverDrive, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Laying the points, Pistons, Spurs tonight. Massive, massive game. I think Detroit gets it done tonight. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Must be 19 plus, physically located in Ontario. Please play responsibly. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. All right, thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and of course up on YouTube Live. Every show up on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
Big Earn. We'll see you in the French Alps in 4 years. 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.